members of this great council, first and foremost, we thank the Almighty God that has given us the strength to stand in the face of this illegality. We want to thank, if you know Chief Okera from Wosu, his party was very successful at the election, in the last 2019 election, so they were not affected by the deregistration. Even from the foundation, we knew they would not be affected, but because he believes in democracy, and the spirit of the Constitution as stated in Section 40, that says every Nigerian will have the right to belong to a political party, a labor union, or an association where his right and interest is protected. I think most people don't take into cognizance what it means that you belong to somewhere that your right and interest is protected. The Constitution wish was that Nigerians have the freedom to move about, and this freedom is not to be restricted by any agency of government or any group of persons. So we thank you for recognizing that fact, Chief Ralph Okenwosu. So standing here today, we want to state clear that he has shown support to this council, he has shown support to his fellow colleagues, and he has shown that he's a great elder statesman.
Thank you very much.
We started this case since last year, May last year. And when we saw that there was intention, there was plan to put the Constitution of Nigeria upside down, it is our right as Nigerians to defend the right that is freely given to us by the Constitution. So we went to court to challenge Section 225A and challenge the Commission from not taking, to stop them from not taking this illegal action of deregistering political parties. It is very important for you to know that parties standing here today, some have been to court before in 2012 deregistration, court brought them back. Because it is about freedom of the Nigerian people. It is about freedom of participation. It is about freedom to be able to prosper the gospel of free democratic tenants in our country. Because when people are restricted from doing what they are supposed to do to project the interests of our country, it breeds anarchy. Expanding the democratic space is what the spirit of the Constitution states. Section 225A runs foul of Section 40 and Section 229, where it says the function of political party as stated. The interest we talk about, if the interest of a political party is to continue to talk about free education, let that political party have that interest to do that. If the interest of a political party is to talk about trees planting in the Northeast, let the political party have the interest to do that. If the interest of a political party is to talk about free press, let that political party continue to do that. It is not restricted to winning election alone. It is about education, civic mobilization, and education. So for us, what happens today is victory to the Nigerian democracy. Yes. It is victory to the unborn generation. Yes. It is victory to the sustainability and development of our country. Yes. It is victory to the judiciary. Yes. It is victory that we know that whatever happens, Nigeria should not resort to violent protests. That Nigeria should not resort to issues that will cause disaffection among ourselves, but should head straight to court where the right of Nigeria shall be protected. We want to be able to say today that the media is one of the greatest arms that have acted in the spirit of the Constitution, that have stood both for the oppressed and have stood to carry this gospel according to the wishes and doctrine of the Constitution. We want to thank the media for beaming the light on this deregistration, for making the world to see the both sides of what it matters and what entails in the Constitution. Because when you continue to stop people from hearing their voice, when you force people to belong to an association where their interest is not protected, when you push people to go and do otherwise without allowing them to express their freedom and express their interest through a well-channeled process as enshrined in the Constitution like the registration of a political party, you breed instability. So I thank every member of the council, the executive secretary, the executive of the council, the general secretary who worked day and night, the vice VP1 and VP2, Razak Oyiwawi, and Madam Chika Ibeneme. I thank our very able, gallant legal advisor. I thank every other person, including our public secretary that is not here right now, is in Imo, for all the work we did to protect the interest of the upcoming generation. Because we all stand here before you, speaking to media, going to meetings, because the Constitution freely gave us that right. We are standing here before you, defending the democratic principle of our constitution, because the constitution freely gave us that right. So for us, we will continue to defend the constitution. We will continue to stand that every Nigerian, born or yet to be born, we have the right to freely associate. And today is the day that we honor Chief Gani Fayemi. Yes. We honor him for dictating and standing against dictatorship in expanding the democratic space. We honor him because it is in his own spirit that gave us the courage to fight. Yes. It is in his aluta activities that gave us the will to stand for our right. So today, the Inter-Party Advisory Council have declared that we will give him a posthumous award. Wow. We will honor him. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our right. Victory, there is victory for us. There is victory for us. In the struggle for Nigeria, there is victory for us. In Africa. Let me say this before we leave. Provisions, the list of that provision have not been met, which is winning a councillorship in the world, which is winning a chairmanship seat. And INEC has failed to realize one thing, that they are not the only electoral agency in Nigeria. We have 36 state independent electoral commissions that share the same power as INEC. They are not a baby to INEC. There are 36 of them. Only 6 have successfully conducted local government election in Nigeria. 6. So if the constitution says that the requirement entails that we win a councillor, the 30 states will conduct their elections. It is then that we can now judge this matter. But for me and the council that which we represent, which have appointed us to stand here today, believe in the spirit of the constitution that section 25A was illegally put there to weaken the foundation of the constitution, which entrench that there will be freedom of participation. Yes. Because the freedom should not be paid for. Yes. Freedom should not have restriction. Yes. Freedom should not have constraint in any way. Freedom should be free and should be free to be seen to be free. Yes. And be freedom. And be freedom. So it is in that freedom that today the council want to say that whoever is aggrieved in this country, whoever has anything, let's go to the court for peaceful adjudication of the matter. We will not, as a council, support anything that will put strain on the unity of this country. We will not, as a council, go on a protest that will endanger peace and prosperity of this council. And that is why our law-abiding people, we went to court. And we thank God today that the Temple of Justice gave us justice. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
How many parties went to court on this matter?
9 months ago.
That 3 parties went to court. But 2 among those 33 parties went on solidarity. They went to support us because Labour Party was on the list. And they were not registered because they were not even qualified to be registered. ADC, with us on that list, they were not qualified to be registered because they felt that holding on to the spirit of the Constitution was greater than their personal interest. And today, judgment has been given. The ruling has been given. Convening all political parties, even the 33 and all others. Whether you are before the court or you are not before the court.
Any.
It's 31 others. Say it the way God said. Please, I beg you. Please, if you want to. He said 33 and all others.
So what, in specific terms, what is the ruling of the court?
That the duration is illegal. And INEC has been restrained from continuing with that act.
That is what I want to hear. Is there anyone to raise your
wherever I appeal, we tell you, we believe in democratic tenets. For us, what we wanted to establish has been established. For us, we are ready to follow the due process of any legal appeal. and defend the rights of the because, like I told you, we are not fighting for ourselves anymore. We are fighting because people like Ganifa Emi fought for us. So we are fighting for those who will come after us. After us. So that is how the fight is. If we go to sleep, those who will come later will ask us, somebody like Ganifa Emi, without being paid, laid the foundation, was destroyed during your time, and you said nothing. For us, it was for posterity to write a record that when we sleep in our old age, we read the book and say, yes, I was among those who stood for the Nigerian Constitution. I was among those who said no to impunity in our democratic system. So for us, it is not about our interest, because our interest has been protected in the first place by the Constitution. But what for us is that those who will come after us, we have the same space to either belong to a labor union, to belong to an association, or to a political party, that their right and interest will be guaranteed and protected, as stated in Section 40. That is our own mandate, and our mandate has been carried out today. And we are willing, as a people, to defend the Nigerian Constitution to the letter.
Looking at the policy, there are...
When the council presented what we call solution to electoral problems and issues of political participation, we presented all those problems to the commission. And we have set up a committee headed by the VP2 to go to the National Assembly and present it to Omagege's National Assembly Constitution Review Committee. We have already set up that. And let me tell you about this constitution. These lies that will keep on going unabated. One, whether parties are 100, whether parties are 200, it costs nothing to INEC. Because one of the things is that, one, INEC does not fund the political parties. Political parties are self-funded. Two, the fact is that when you want to print ballot papers, you don't print ballot papers according to the numbers of the registered political party. You print ballot papers according to the numbers of registered voters. So if voters are 1 billion, you must print 1 billion ballot papers. If voters are 1 billion, you must transport 1 billion ballot papers. So what is the challenge that INEC face? INEC talk about the largeness of the ballot paper. What we should do is that we will engage more in education and sensitization. That we must be able to also look that parties develop along ideological line, not based on chapter 2 of the Constitution. Because the chapter 2 of that Constitution have lumped all parties together to do one thing. So when we know our problems, we can solve them. For us, we believe that if we want to talk about elections based on how they call it from local level to presidential level, first of all, we must make sure our elections are transparent, that our elections are free, and that our elections protect the right of every member who is willing to contest. Nobody wants to be on a system. You are talking about protection of rights. Let me tell you which of the parties will grow. What are the ones that were not attempted to be registered? How will they grow? My party, by 2006, we were formed. By 2007, we want 2 governors in a stretch. By 2010, they have gone. A DPP, formed by Bafarawa, the one in Sokoto, one in Delta. By then, everybody left the party. As we are talking in 2019, most of the people who won election, who are remaining behind, their members who won under their platform have gone to other parties. If you want to know, you can check the case of Imo and the case of Ogun State. Everybody has decamped. The issue we are talking about is that our electoral system has problem. No party can continue to sustain its growth if these 2 parties remain as those who suck out the victories of the party. Like the parties become like a feeder pillar. Anytime you win, your people decamp to their party. So if we must set our record right, we must look at defection laws. We must look at the laws that can make our election very transparent. We must look at laws that will make our election be responsible to the Nigerian people. Yes. That the elections must state that those who vote and their vote remain counted. Yes. That they are special. Yes. And freedom to be elected on whatever platform they choose to be. And that Nigerians will go to polls without fear of their vote will become injurious to their life. So these are the factors that we concentrate on. Multiplicity of political party is the beauty. Without collective